Hey everybody, and welcome to today's installment of the Agnostic Ratman Army. Yay! Today's a fun day. Today is a fun day. It's one of my favorite bits of building agnostic armies. What do you call it? The sorting beep out. Basically, I just get all my stuff and I chuck it on my workbench to see what I have and to start kind of organizing it. So I took a few pictures. I got it on my workbench. I took a few pictures. And I just wanted to talk you through some of the steps and give you some tips on agnostic fantasy armies. This kind of applies to agnostic anything army, but I'm doing fantasy at the moment, so it'll be most applicable to agnostic fantasy armies. So I've chucked some stuff up on my project. If you want to see it, remember, these video clips all relate. I kind of bundling all of this into projects over on tabletop.com. Find me or just browse into the projects section and look for this picture, the Ratman Agnostic Fantasy Army, and you'll be able to follow along. So today's update, so what I did was I chucked everything out on the table. There it is. So as you can see, like no organizing at this point, just basically getting all of the minis that I have from that particular army and throwing them on there. So I can see I've like a bunch of individual minis. I had some what looked like little snipers. I had a couple of the big plague furnaces. And then I have my favorites, which are the Doom wheels. So really it is just a case of get everything I can and chuck it onto the table to see just exactly what I have. As well as that, I've loads of bits from bits and pieces that have come in broken whenever I've bought these things. So I have to kind of organize through all of that. I look at, for example, some of the little broken pieces as well, because you'll always, whenever you get one of these old armies, whenever it's shipped here, 9 times out of 10, it's just dunked in a box and you're lifting tiny little broken bits out. So I have to find the miniatures that these arms and bits belong to. And you know what? I kind of enjoy that. It's all part and parcel of, the whole thing coming back together and being, just being nice, just being cool. I throw out my bases that I've got. So they're there, and I can kind of judge the size of things. Go probably tighten up. Go with a slightly smaller base size for the Doom wheels in this project. And then any ancillary bits and pieces that I'm going to use. Ah, my phone is going off. Do you know what? I need to have more discipline and remember to turn that off. But these are the ancillary bits and pieces I'm going to use. So I have my crystals here. I have my shrooms. And I have some... Well, these are actually little spears, but I'm probably going to use them for pinning. So I chucked them in anyway because I am going to pin, because I'm probably going to pin the Doom wheels up a little bit so they look really dynamic and as if they're rushing in to do their thing at speed, at pace. And then obviously the most important bit, my new glasses. These are my new reading glasses. So I can actually, good grief, I can actually read now. So I'm not actually going, Arr! I can read. And it's great to be able to see things effectively. As soon as things go a bit further away, they start going a bit, but yeah, my glasses are there. So, time to organize, okay? So, you get everything out of its packet and you start to group things together. Now, this is where the agnosticism of your army comes to play. This is the #1 rule. Hello, boys. Hello. This is the #1 rule for agnostic fantasy armies. Hey, Jack, do you want to know what the #1 rule for agnostic fantasy armies is? No?
Yes, what is the #1 rule?
Well, the #1 rule for agnostic fantasy armies, boys, is you no longer bend your army to match the rules. you reshape the rules to match your army.
Okay, thank you.
Rule of cool, guys. Rule of cool. Thank you, dudes. Right, off you go. Right, well, there we go. My little guests coming into my podcast. What can you do these days? What can you do? So, yeah, that is your number one rule. You no longer put the rule set first, okay? You've just got to accept that what you're doing is you're building an army, something that you will love 100% of the time. Because when I'm not playing with this army, I just want to look at it. I want to put it on display, and I want to see it. So, I will choose the bases that I like. I will choose the unit sizes that I like. I will choose everything about this army from an aesthetic and a rule of cool perspective. And then whatever rule set between now and eternity that I choose to play, I'm sorry, but that rule set will bend to my will, not the other way around. So let's have a look through what I've got so far. This might change, but generally what I'm looking at is 6-man kind of close combaters. So six-man swordsman with a little leader, okay? The leader, I'm thinking that, I like the whole idea of packs of rats and messaging and stuff like that, between the little rat kind of groups within the clan. So I've got those guys. I have then got pikemen. Now, I've went for larger groups of pikemen because they tend to stand in a row, pikemen. They normally do their thing in bulk. So I like to bulk up my pikemen. I could have went for smaller unit sizes, but I think I'll go with the nice big blob of 10 pikemen, 9 or 10 pikemen or so in that. I have a few extra if I need to paint up a couple of extra to fill some gaps. I then have a bunch of these little sniper guys. So there's 5 of these. Now I need to take a closer look. 4 are the same. 1 is different. I need to take a closer look to what that actually is, so as I can work out just exactly what I want it to do within the army. But I've bundled it in with the other snipers at the moment to give me that bit of like long range attack. I then have the Doom Wheels, as I've said, probably my favorite model in the entire thing. Just love these. And this is the base that they're going to go on. Again, a few wee repairs here and there, but I like that. I enjoy the repairs. And then I have the command squad. Now, I've since made a change to this command squad. So I've got my boss rat. I'm going to do 2 hero rats. I'm redeploying these 2 rats, and I'm going to put 2 banner rats in there instead, just to give that command squad that sense of, whoa, we're the rats, so we're here to kick ass, or crawl up them. Well, then nobody likes that, but yeah, Richard Gere likes that. Other than Richard Gere, nobody likes that. So yeah. Anyway, so let me get back to this. So that's pretty much the army makeup. And then there's 2 big centerpiece of these plague furnaces that I'm going to tidy up, put them on the base, and yeah, go to town on these. These are my big ass centerpiece bits. Do you know, I'm even considering throwing in a 3D printed siege tower into this army, because I think this army could carry off a siege tower with aplomb. I really do. Anyway, as part of that, this is the point where you will discover that you didn't order enough bases first time round. Because when I first did this, I only had 1 plague furnace. I now have 2 that I'm going to be tidying up. So I need to get another big ass base for that. And then I also discovered that I have this, what I'm calling for the moment, my big ass rat gun, this one here. And I think that big ass rat gun is actually a little bit too big for this base. So I'm going to go with a larger base, something similar to the size of what these would have originally come on, just to give me a little bit more canvas space to do something really nice with this temporarily called big ass rat gun. So that's it. I've put together my army list. So my army list as it stands, and it is always subject to change as I work through this, but I have a command squad, 5 sniper teams, 6-man, 1 6-man unit of slingers, so little guys with little slingshots. I have a big ass rat gun. I have 3 6-man units of swordsmen, which gives me plenty of that kind of close combat stuff. And I have 2 big blobby units of pikemen. Finally, I've got 2 plague furnaces and 3 doom wheels. So I don't have a massive amount of long range, but what I do have, I'm going to make it super accurate, so that it's pretty deadly whenever it's in use. So that's today's update for this project. There's a great video over on Tabletop Minions, if you haven't seen it. I'll put it in a link below, where Adam is actually talking about reusing your old models. And this is exactly what I'm doing here with these agnostic armies. So yeah, a big shout out to Adam. It's a great video. Go and give it a watch. And yeah, stay tuned. And like I said, why don't you, if you're a content creator or you're just doing a project, come on over to the On Tabletop site and fire up a project for yourself so that you can journal it. Because it's always nice to go back to a project later and see what you did and remind yourself of the little steps that you took. Right. Thank you very much, guys. Oh, yes, my children have told me that I have to say, remember to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button. Oh, God. Little ones.